Hey everyone, Mineycart here, but you can call me Miney, and welcome back to Final Fantasy V, guys, episode 45. We're in the home stretch now, and as promised, I am joined by a very special guest. I am joined by, once again, the wonderful Mr. Aeth on Stormwind. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello. It's been a while.
It has been a little while, and I'm trying to think the last episode you were on.
God, I think it was one of the earlier ones.
It was before I went into that really hard dungeon that was like a big difficulty spike.
Oh, the tower.
Yes.
Just before going into Castle, XS Castle.
Yes, I do believe
I
that's what
remember.
it was. Yeah, it was before the really obvious, like, attack, which I was criticizing a lot, and then they were like, oh, it's just a decoy, and I was like, oh, okay then. Fair play. But yeah, we've been through a lot since then. We've been through a whole bunch of story, and we are getting towards the end of the game. Aeth has given me a small bit of detail that I have potentially 12, but minimum 10 bosses to fight in the interdimensional rift.
Yeah, two of them are optional super bosses.
Yeah, so I'm kind of nervous about that, but it'll be fine. I totally have been hearing horror stories from Aeth's playthrough. It'll be fine. But before we do that, something that Aeth pointed out to me, and I was like, oh, let's do it in the episode, is that there are some optional jobs on this, because Aeth was, when you played this game most recently, you played it on the Pixel remaster, didn't you?
Yes, and these are not a thing on the Pixel Remaster, only on the GBA version.
If we come down here
And
underneath the Phantom Village.
yeah, there's this optional post-game dungeon, which Money won't be able to go into in depth yet, but you will be able to pick up the crystal shards. There is a fourth job that you can get from this, but only after getting a post-game clear, a full game clear.
I'm gonna rescue our poor party members. Some incredible forces coming up from the sea floor. No, the
Get the suck
submarine's
on.
turning around. Ugh, it's like time and space are being twisted. It's sucking us in!
That's what he said.
Mm. I love the sprites when they're like face planted like that. Paris's hair looks awesome.
And yet, the only time they're really used is when a party member is KO'd.
Yeah. You finally arrived. Yeah, sorry, I had to get some directions. Go on, let's check it out.
All yep, right, exit via normal door.
Nice mystical music as per the usual.
Mm-hmm.
The door slams shut. Okay. Oh. Shard.
Yep.
Resting within the shard, a warrior spirit. The Oracle. And another one. Resting within the shard, a warrior spirit. Gladiator! I've never watched that show anymore. I used to as a kid, but...
Yeah, same.
Resting within the shard, a warrior spirit. Cannoneer!
And like I said, there was one more shard in the game, but post-game only.
What? Oh, he was walking himself. I got a bit confused.
Yep.
It just happened that I was walking in the same direction, so it confused the fuck out of me when I took my foot off the joystick, and he didn't, you know... Oh, also, actually, a good time to mention, speaking of joysticks, this series nearly met another unfortunate, like, pause, but thanks to the wonderful generosity of the Mr. Aeth on Stormwind, we do now have the controller that we're playing on right now, after the old one that Platty brought me back in 2021 died. So, huge thank you to Mr. Stormwind for that. Out of the way.
You're very welcome.
Mr. Stormwind was my father. I'm so formal with you. Hey, I'm a traveling. I tell you, I am looking forward to going to a game with voice acting at some point soon, because reading is hard. Hey, I'm a. Why do I keep adding the word time? I'm a traveling merchant. Ever searching the world for rare and wonderful items. Recently, my ship was caught in a big storm. I bet that was bug storm. I was very confused. And I was washed up here. On the bright side, a mysterious cavern under the sea is just bound to be full of great loot. So I figured... All you kids have gotten the crystal fragments, eh? That's the rarest of rare. Oh, and it seems you don't even understand what powers are hidden inside those shards, huh? No, I've literally just picked them up, mate. Alright then, I'll tell you. First are oracles. They have the power to predict foretelling helpful or harmful phenomena that will happen to themselves or those around them. Earthquakes, tsunami, illness, all of these can be predicted and be made to befall enemies. But be careful, sometimes they'll affect the oracle himself.
Yeah, quick thing to know, a lot of them harm not only the enemies but also the party members. He has 10 specific like random abilities that you can choose from. 6 of them can hinder both you and the enemies.
As for the necessary conditions to spark each phenomenon, well, that's something you just have to figure out for yourself. Or maybe we won't, because I probably won't be judging that. Predictions come in 3 ranks. Higher ranks take longer to come true, but have more drastic effects. It's like they say, good things come to those who wait, right? Sure. Anyway, after a little practice and maybe a little luck, effectively using predict will be a breeze. Now, next we've got gladiators. Gladiators fight like they were born with a blade in their hands. Between their blade blitz technique and their finishers, they've got the power to take down almost any foe. Last but not least, the cannoners. Can you tell I'm getting quicker as I'm getting more confident at reading?
Yeah.
Those explosive experts use their ability to combine to always get the most bang for their buck. Boo. Combine lets cannoners put together ammunition with various other items to cause different effects.
So think of Cannoneer as a swordsman on the back row, but also a chemist. They are very weird class, but they can deal full damage from the back row even with their weapons.
Very interesting.
But
there are 3 types of ammo: buckshot, blast shot, and blitz shot. Not blitz. No. No blitz.
Blitzball!
No! Fuck off! I despise that game with a passion, and when I go back to 10, I'm gonna have to do it, and I'm like, oh god.
It's not that bad, honestly.
It just was one of those things where it's like, here's a bible of tutorials. Like, go, and I'm like, what? Like, I'm 2 minutes, I'm less than 10 minutes into a game. I shouldn't have to sit through, a bible of tutorials, in text form, you know what I mean? I was like, come on, guys, do better. I'm sure the game is fine if you know how to play it, but when you're smacked in the face with a bible worth of tutorials when you first start a game, it's a bit like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Try combining different ammo with different items and see what happens. Actually, I'd love to help you guys get sorted by sending you some ammo right now, but I'm all sold out. Well, shame. How about this? I'll talk to my supplier. We were talking about chemists earlier, now we're talking about suppliers. Should I be worried?
Yep.
And then I'll be more than happy to help you with all your ammunition needs. I'm always on the go, so look up for me when you're in the towns or castles. I'm usually lurking around the equipment shops. Gotta keep tabs on the competition. Fair. I hope this is the beginning of a beautiful and profitable relationship. See you around. Well, the chances are, buddy, I'm never going to see you again, because I feel like I could have done this a lot earlier in the story.
You could have done. Yeah, the moment you get into, technically, World 3, you could have done this. Well, the moment you got the submarine airship, basically.
Noted.
Also, if you want to change off of night and have a similar kind of role, the gladiator is that.
Yeah, so for a while we had the samurai, which was Aeth's suggestion, but then I kept using the wrong ability to...
the Zenikage.
Yeah, I kept using that and spending my money. Because annoyingly, because I was watching Aeth play a battle or two of the the Pixel remaster, and I was thinking if I do, as much as I love playing the original, I would probably play the Pixel remaster of a future 1 through 4 or 6, because it just tells you more and gives you more helpful advice. But it just tells you, like, in battle what something does, which in the GBA version it doesn't. So it's like,
yeah, because it's closer. The GBA version is closer to the SNES version.
yeah. Well, obviously this is what, 95.
Yes.
So this game is 20 years old. Fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. It's 30 years old.
30.
I can do maths. I got an A in maths, I promise. Yeah, 30 years old, man. It's older than I've... it's older than me, is what I was trying to say.
It's slightly younger than me.
When Aeth was 1, he was playing this game.
It was not until I was like 7, 8. So 3 years after this came out.
What do you think?
Do you have the cover ability from the night?
Alright, I will take the suggestion. Optimized. I don't think anything changed.
It doesn't have the Elven Mantle because it never auto equips. Because the Elven Mantle is one of the broken accessories.
Alright, then let's take our black chocobo. Is this our black chocobo?
There is a black chocobo, even though it looks purple.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, this is almost perfectly lined up, but like you have to go round a bit, and it's really weird, and it's just over here, I think. But you want to make sure you don't go too far down, as we've learned, because then you get land crawlers that are fucking pains in the ass. But up here is a decent spot. So yeah, let's bring up the gladiator bit. Okay, this is a 1. Okay, finish it. Jesus Christ.
You want damage?
Yeah, that's a pretty decent amount of damage. That's a lot of damage. Also, I switched, for the viewers, I switched Faris back to a summoner, but she now has full mastery of all of the black magic stuff. She's not fully mastered, but she was basically there, and she has.
What was her second job again? Basically a sub job. Yeah.
Black mage.
Fair.
Yeah.
So, I typically make the white mage into a summoner, and then have white mage as their secondary. So they're predominantly healing when needed, but if it's not needed, they can summon something. So they're not wasting turns.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's sort of how Yuna is, right, in 10?
Pretty much. Those summons work differently in that game.
Yeah. How are we doing on leveling up? Mr. 8 out of 30, okay. What exactly contributes to that counter?
Each enemy is given a specific ability points score. And it depends on the level of the enemy and how difficult they are, typically. That's why bosses give a lot.
Right, got ya. We'll get this off a little bit, because I don't want to spend all the time with the Mr. Stormwind grinding.
Trust me, you'll get enough like levels just from the dimensional rift.
True, this is true. Well, I'll just take a moment to make sure I'm fully familiar with it. Probably get us up to level 2, and then we'll head off, because it's the final countdown, guys. And it lines up nicely, because my plan was to finish this before the end of September, so I could do my Halloween month. and I've got 4 weeks left to do that. So I honestly think we could do that. But yeah, Final Fantasy V nearly finished. 30 years after release. I can't remember when it came out. I did look it up once when it came out. I just can't remember when.
Hang on, I can help you there.
Yeah, good kind of like 16 out of 30. Cool.
On the Japanese Super Nintendo, it was 1992 in December.
Oh, good lord. So the story itself is older. But this version, I think it was 95, the GBA version.
Yeah, the GBA version came 3 years later, which is an improved port because it has additional content. Which not even the PlayStation 1 version had. Because yes, there is a PlayStation 1 version of this as well.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I find that surprising.
Because it came in a anthology disc set with alongside Final Fantasy VI.
Makes sense.
Whereas 1, 2, 3, and 4 came in a 4-disc bundle. Also on the PlayStation 1.
Very interesting. Were they single disc or were they multi-disc?
All of the games were single disc. Each game had its own disc.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to think about a time when the games were multi-disc. Yeah,
one of the first that I know of was Final Fantasy VII and Grandia.
Oh, Grandia's multi-disc. I guess it makes sense.
Yes, it was a 2-disc. The only reason it was 2-disc was because it had CGI and voice acting. It's something that even Final Fantasy VII did not have.
Yeah, Final Fantasy took quite a while to get to voice acting. It wasn't until 10.
Yeah.
And the move to the PlayStation
which
2.
was a further 3 years later.
Yeah.
Was it 3 or 4?
I have no clue, to be honest with you.
Was it 2000 or 2001? Hang on, I need to double check that.
I think it was 2001. But 10 came out.
Yeah, 2001. So 4 years after 7.
I think 10 is a brilliantly voice acted game. It's weird when I think about it that I've only played one game that's got, well, I guess technically 2 if you count 10 too, that has voice acting. And I guess World as well, but it's not really a mainline game.
Well, it isn't. It's a side game, but it's technically main because of what it does.
Yeah, that game.
It's
was
a weird
good.
entry. It's good. I need to play it for myself at some point.
I want to replay
how big
when
is
I
my
played
backlog?
some more games. Very big.
Yeah.
I want to get some more games under my belt of knowledge, so then when certain people pop up, I'm like, oh, and like, yeah, I can. You know, Gilgamesh is in that game, for example. I saw him in this game, and I was like, oh, I recognize you.
Yeah, Gilgamesh is actually in 9 as well.
Is he?
Yes, he is. Do you remember Alleyway Jack? All the way back in the beginning of Alexandria.
Vaguely rings a bell.
The 4-armed person with the red spiky hair.
Oh, yeah.
That's Gilgamesh.
Oh.
Yep.
The same Gilgamesh or a different
The
universe?
same Gilgamesh. Because if you remember, there's a reason that later you'll see why he ends up in other games. It's an in-law reason for why he's in different games.
Oh. Then I guess that makes sense that he's in World then.
Yeah. And he ended up coming through a portal of sorts to go into World.
I honestly, my memory of World is low. Like I remember it was a cameo fest.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about World was that I felt and got excited for characters that I didn't even know who the fuck they were. Like I think I saw like Lightning and I was like, oh my god, because I'm somewhat familiar with like main characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was doing some research because I'm planning to do a video soon as like a tier list of Final Fantasy party characters of the games I've played so far. So, 6, 7, or 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 10 too. And I was sort of looking to see if there was any already made ones. And I saw there was a really cool thing actually that had all the characters in pixel remaster form from like all the games.
Yeah.
So you had like Cloud and Tifa and Aerith in that form. You had like Zidane and Queen Catch Frog.
Yeah. Speaking of Final Fantasy 9, could be news of the heavily hinted at remake coming out soon.
Oh, is that actually?
It's not been confirmed yet, but with all of the like merch and artwork that's been flooded over the last few months, it's heavily suspected because it's the last of the Nvidia leak stuff that hasn't been confirmed yet.
I guess 7, the remake of 7 is coming to its end. So
Yes. And they're still working on that, but the hints of 7, 9, have been going since remake first came out.
God, that was 2020, wasn't it? It was like April 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Rebirth came out 29th of February last year?
Mm-hmm. And more stuff got hinted at then. Since then, the previous only other thing that hadn't been confirmed, the Final Fantasy Tactics remake, and that's coming out in a few months. So people are suspecting possibly Final Fantasy 9 either end of the year or beginning of next.
I'm curious to see what people how people would feel, because I know people were really excited for 7, and I think people still are, but some people I think were sort of expecting a more just a remake and not a remaster maybe, and not a remake, so to speak.
Yeah, but they specifically used the words remake, not remaster.
Yeah, but you know what some people are like. Right, I agree,
But in fact, it did need a remake because of so many characters ended up having their story cut from the game. Vincent, Kate Sif, Wed, and Yuffie for one. That's 5 characters.
And you've got
Didn't
all the
really get their character
DLCs
story
as well, which is really cool. The extra stuff, which is really cool.
Technically, you can add Doja Cerberus as Vincent DLC because it was a pretty short game, like 15 hours.
It's kind of crazy. I watched someone play Remake. I'd never played 7 before, and then they went and played 7 OG in the gap, and then they got to the scene at the end of Disc 1, and they were like heartbroken.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They were.
It hits different.
Yeah. But it was cool to see them start with Remake, and then go to the OG, and then play Rebirth and absolutely despise it.
Yeah.
They really did not like Rebirth at all.
And technically, you can almost do that. Soon we'll be able to do that with my favourite game series, the Trails games, because they're remaking the first game, Trails in the Sky.
Oh.
So you'll be able to have the 2D chibi thing from the PSP, and then full 3D.
Cool. That sounds exciting.
And that's coming out in September.
So in a couple of weeks when you guys are watching this.
Quickly get up release date.
I'm gonna say it because I say it almost every episode at this point. The music in this game is just top notch. Like, Final Fantasy music is brilliant, but this game in particular has been really fun to enjoy the music. Because this is like my first proper pixel game, really.
So, Trails in the Sky First Chapter Remake is September 19th.
Oh. So in about 3 weeks,
so, yeah.
I think?
Give or take.
So yeah.
No, slightly more. It's about 6 as of time of recording.
Oh yeah, the time of recording, it's a ways away. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I would be really happy for Mage and Shift 9 remake came out. I got announced because I feel like they would lose their shit.
Oh yeah, it's at first it was one of those Final Fantasies that some people liked, but others didn't because of the art style, which I get. It's more chibi.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is a massive love letter to the previous Final Fantasies.
It feels like a really good swan song to that era before you step
everything
into
the
voice acted,
the PS2 voice acted stuff. Yeah.
And with little inclusions with Gilgamesh, like you said, it feels like a nice little love song. Sorry, I think I cut you off there.
Yeah, that's the thing. It has so many references to past games. It even mentions Kane's betrayal in Final Fantasy IV.
Which is even funnier that I played 9 first.
Yep.
I did 9, 10, 7, rest of 10, started 10 2, 5. I need to find dates when I did stuff, because I know I started this game back in June of 2021. 8 is another one that I've been procrastinating to fuck, for no good reason.
8 is one that you either love it or you hate it. It's one of those games purely because of the system it uses.
Yeah, it took me a little bit of time to get used to the system, but I'm somewhat used to it now. But I think going back to it after this, I'm going to be a bit confused for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm still not entirely sure what to fill this slot with after the Halloween month, because I was thinking I'd bring 8 into this slot because I'm not really streaming anymore, and that's where I was playing 8, and I kind of don't want to start a new game when I've got one, started. Yeah, but I'm also do I maybe save that in case I want to go back to streaming it and do 6 instead? That's, I think, what it will be. It will be bring 8 here or do 6. It's one of the two options.
I have an idea. If you want to stream something that's an RPG but could have that has horror elements, but I won't say it on this just to keep it an element of surprise for the viewers.
Ooh.
If you take it up.
Very interesting. I am very intrigued. Alright.
Because it's not a very well-known game, I'll say that much.
Ooh, there you go, guys. Have a think about that. See if you can work it out.
I bet you won't. Because so many people I've told of it have not heard of it.
Boom. Cool. How are we doing now? We're basically at... I'll get Manny to level 2. We're at 62 out of 70. And then I think we'll round off the episode and we'll crack on in the next episode with actually doing stuff. Also, the funny thing is, I uploaded last night and I just titled it earlier, like the last episode, and I titled it Final Preparations. And I was like, in the next episode, we're going to go into the interdimensional rift. And now I'm planning to end this episode before going into the interdimensional rift.
Yep, because I've sidetracked you.
Yeah, blame Aeth, guys. Blame Aeth.
But it's my fault because I know the game inside and out.
Yeah, this is your favourite Final Fantasy game, isn't it?
By far. Then it's 12. A game that not many people like.
12 is probably the next one I'll be playing in that direction. I'm thinking I want to get 8. I want to get 8 done. Then I'm thinking probably do 6 and then move up to the... And at that point I think I'm probably going to go modern game, older game, modern game, older game. Because I do kind of miss playing the games with the voice acting. As much as this game has been amazing, I kind of am intrigued to go back to like voice acted games.
Yeah.
With the more... Seeing what they can do with increased technology, increased capabilities. Because Square are a fantastic studio. But they're not the only RPG makers.
No.
We had a whole debate about
my
this.
RPG series. Yeah, my favourite JRPG series comes from a company known as Neon Falcom. And they are practically unknown. But they've made JRPGs that are called The Trails. They've made action RPGs called Yeast, just to name a few. But they've been going almost as long as Square have been, funnily enough.
Yeah, Square really do dominate the mainstream market, I feel like.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what I will say on that aside is if you want to hear more about Square versus non-Square, go and check out the mod takeover that we did for one of my charity streams, where Aeth and someone else debated Square versus non-Square JRPG games. I believe you were on the side of non-Square, which makes sense.
Yes.
But yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing to go and watch. I can't say what was discussed because the whole point of it was I buggered off while they covered for me while I took a small break. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. If you have enjoyed today's video. So, if you have enjoyed today's video and you want to see more content like this on the channel, please don't forget to like it. If you are new around here, please do subscribe to the channel. So you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And a huge thank you once again to my wonderful guest, Mr. Aeth on Stormwind.
No worries. Glad to be here.
Yep, and he'll be back, I believe. You're still good?
Yeah, still good for about another hour and a half. So, you should be having me for a few more episodes yet.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere just yet. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all soon. Good. Bye!
Bye-bye.